This week we're reviewing the film Hollywoodland starring Adrian Brody, Ben Affleck, Diane Lane, and Bob Hoskins. Hollywoodland is a fictionalized account of the mysterious death of the original Superman actor George Reeves, who was portrayed in the film by Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
You're a big Ben Affleck fan, right, Russ?
I've always felt he kind of seems... He's too good at playing an asshole. And so I feel like in reality, he's probably kind of an asshole.
Why is he good at playing an asshole?
I don't know. I've just seen him be a good asshole before. He just kind of.
I mean, the first part of his career, he played a lot of like bullies in like
exactly.
teen movies.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know. When has he ever been like a super likable character?
Oh no, I think it was pretty likable in this.
In this, yes. There you go. This time, here's where he's doing the likable thing.
George Reeves starred as Superman in the very first feature film based on DC characters, Superman and the Mole Men, 1951. He then starred as Superman on a television series called Adventures of Superman. George Reeves supposedly shot himself on June 16, 1959, but the incident has long been marred in mystery and suspicion, and the film Hollywoodland presents a fictionalized account of the circumstances surrounding the death of George Reeves. 3 stars. It's a pretty solid film noir from 2006. I thought the portions of the film with Ben Affleck playing George Reeves were much more compelling than the Adrian Brody stuff, but overall it's a pretty decent flick about a interesting real-life mystery. The director does a good job creating an authentic portrayal of 1950s LA, and the acting is very good. It's a great ensemble that plays to the actors' strong points, and everyone is extremely well cast. My main criticism is that this movie is a bit cliche and forgettable. The Adrian Brody, Louis Simo stuff feels a bit tired. There's nothing too original there. He does a decent job in the performance. It's not really bad acting. It feels kind of like a TV show. The director, Alan Coulter, mostly worked in TV, directing episodes of The Sopranos and stuff. And that's what it feels like. This movie feels like an episode of an HBO show from like 20 years ago.
I would have to agree with you on a lot of these critiques, Gary, that, the acting was great. I hadn't gone into it realizing, like knowing the story of George Reeves. And so it was neat to see this take on it and, kind of evolve with the story and like figure out that maybe it wasn't suicide, and then twists and turns are neat, but the whole thing felt done. Like it felt like we've done it before. And also the formatting of the movie was a bit confusing for me. They play with the timeline where it's like you're seeing George Reeves' Superman, but what I thought for like a good chunk of the movie was I was seeing Superman's replacement, Ben Affleck, taking on the new role now that George Reeves is dead, rather than seeing George Reeves take on this role for the first time. And that, I don't know if I'm just dumb or what.
Well, you're definitely dumb.
Well, I'm definitely dumb, but I don't know if I'm that dumb.
Just didn't get the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's like one of those things where there's 2 timelines going, and the Louis Simo character is the protagonist, and as he has revelations and learns new things, you kind of see the past in a different way.
I'd give the movie 2 stars.
Hollywoodland is available to stream on Paramount Plus, and there is a Blu-ray available, so it's pretty easy to find this. Ben Affleck plays George Reeves, an actor whose career is at a low, which at the time was an interesting casting choice because Ben Affleck's career was also at a low point, and he took this role mostly to distance himself from doing blockbuster action films after, he had done like Daredevil and Geely.
Right.
It's also kind of ironic because you're trying to get away from doing those like big budget superhero movies, and then you end up playing a superhero in a movie that's just not a big budget superhero movie.
Right.
It's like a weird indie drama.
I mean, the script probably spoke to him in certain ways.
It speaks a lot to the type of typecasting that you're going to get when you look like Ben Affleck.
Right. And he was saying, hey, people hire me as something else or I'm going to shoot myself.
Yeah. Adrian Brody does a solid job as the slimy private investigator Louis Simo. And this character is not an actual real person. It's an amalgamation of people. Bob Hoskins plays Eddie Mannix, the former head of MGM, and Diane Lane plays his wife, Toni Mannix, who becomes involved romantically with George Reeves. Toni Mannix basically becomes George Reeves' sugar mama, all while her husband is completely aware of it because they have some sort of weird polyamorous relationship of some sort.
Yeah, pretty
which
weird.
Which is basic Hollywood shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I assume every couple knows.
Classic Hollywood, yeah.
Different for a movie like this.
Right, because it's not necessarily explicit that he knows, but it's kind of also, it's like implicit at least, right?
It's a weird relationship to see portrayed in a movie. I don't know if I've ever really seen this before, where the husband like cares about his wife, but he also cheats on her and
I'm going to
allows
take care
her
of
to
you.
cheat.
Yeah.
They're like the definition of like polyamorous. Not usually a thing that you see portrayed in a movie.
Right. Yeah. And any polyamorous couple I've known, or triple or quadruple or however many people are in the polyamorous relationship hasn't worked out great.
I would assume it would never work out.
No,
Yeah,
why would that? When you're going in being like, hey, maybe that's the difference though. Maybe in those relationships you start out and be like, oh, I want to have multiple people, whereas they started out as a couple, and then we're like, all right, we want to involve other people, but we still care for each other at our core.
I don't know if it holds up to snuff. It's like you think about it for a second, you're just like, this doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, Diane Lane wasn't really about
like,
him.
why does he really care about his wife being upset if he's just fucking some young Japanese girl? I don't know if I buy this.
Okay.
Either this is like really good writing and like the screenwriter is revealing something to us that's extremely true and real and just unique, or it's just kind of bullshit for a movie. I don't know.
Added drama because they needed Superman to sleep.
Got to
with,
make it work somehow.
Yeah, right. They got to add that
but it paints a very strange portrayal of the head of MGM. I don't even know if it makes him likable or unlikable. Sometimes it's like this guy's kind of a piece of shit. He's kind of standing by his wife.
Yeah, he's kind of a good guy.
It's kind of weird.
He's giving roles to his wife's lover there.
He's not giving him roles. That's part of the whole contention in their relationship.
Oh,
he gets roles. He gets that shitty role of Superman, but it doesn't have anything to do with.
Oh, it doesn't have
the head of MGM.
Oh, okay. But then I guess that whole thing was just to add drama with. Be like, all right, is the head of MGM is the one that shoots him? Is that who actually shot him? I think that was probably added in there for that sort of drama story.
Yeah, it's a whodunit. Who shot this guy? There's all these different people that could.
So you got to give people reasons to want to shoot him.
Because he wasn't fucking my wife good enough.
Not making her.
Let me tell you something, pal. You could take my wife out, take her on dates, fuck her, but you better not disappoint her. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
Russ, I got to leave the podcast early. I got to go have a little tough talk with my wife's boyfriend. He's being a little bit disrespectful. I think I'm going to sit him down and fucking talk to him. You know, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Why would he care?
He's a weirdo.
Yeah.
He's a money does weird things to weird people.
Tell me everything you did with Superman tonight. Who wants to be cuckolded by Superman?
Not me. All right, maybe a little bit.
You do want to be cuckolded
I mean,
by Superman?
Superman says, I'm going to cuckold you. What do you say? No? He fucking burns your head off and like twists you into a pretzel.
Yeah, I guess so.
You just say, okay, Superman. He's like, I fucking your wife with my X-ray vision, you know? In fact, I just fucked her right now. It's faster than a speeding bullet.
He's like using his X-ray vision to like watch his penis inside of her.
James Gunn did that in his Superman, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah, he's gotta.
I think Ben Affleck's performance kind of makes this film. You can't really help but have empathy for this guy who's talented and charming, but he ends up in a situation where all his relationships are just kind of transactional.
Yeah, he's kind of chosen the wrong people to be in relationships with,
sure.
It seems like, unfortunately. Because, you're right. I think his part was the most engaging part of the film.
Louis Simo's only other client in this film, aside from George Reeves' mother, is a man named Mr. Sinclair, who's played by Larry Cedar. Mr. Sinclair suspects his wife is cheating on him, and from the beginning, you know there's something extremely off about this guy. And despite the fact that Louis Simo can't find any evidence of his wife's infidelity, he continues to indulge Mr. Sinclair and take his money. And this highlights Simo's moral ambiguity and contributes to his character development.
A lot of money. He's taking a lot of money from this guy. 1950, I think the average income, he was making like $150 every 3 weeks or something like that.
He was paying him $50 a day.
$50 a day?
Yeah.
He was raking in the cash. You weren't making that kind of money back in the 50s, especially as a private detective. But I guess that's the point, right? He's without moral, and like Simo was just going to keep taking until
this movie is just filled with weird cucks. All that fucking happens in this movie. This one guy's like, guys are fucking my wife. The other guy's like, no guys are fucking my wife. It's so fucking weird. The storyline with Mr. Sinclair escalates until he actually murders his wife.
Right.
Which makes Louis Simo feel extremely guilty, and he goes on a bender and shows up at his kid's school shit-faced.
Hammered. Yeah.
Hollywoodland ends with Louis Simo coming to the conclusion that George Reeves had in fact shot himself, and also simultaneously that he has been a shitty father. He sees the parallel between Reeves' quest for fame and success and his own ambition, and how chasing success has distracted him from what's really important in his life, his family and his son.
Yeah, you got to be thankful for the things you got, people. Even if you are Superman and you didn't want your life to go that way, you got to be thankful. That's a role that everybody's seeing. Again, there was 4 channels. People saw Superman. they might not see your dumb Gone with the Wind sequel, you know?
Gone with the Wind sequel?
Or whatever he ends up being in.
He was in Gone with the Wind.
I know, no. But then I'm just saying, if he went into act in another movie, they might not have seen it. Whereas people are going to see the TV show, and their kids are going to talk about it. Yeah, for sure. And so he became a child star, or like a star of children.
Yeah, and he should have probably just been able to enjoy his success. Hollywoodland was well enough received, with lots of praise for Ben Affleck's performance. It didn't do great in theaters, but the DVD sold very well and made the film an additional $10 million.
Like you could back in the day with your...
Pretty much, yeah. Hollywood was just printing money in the DVD days. There were some copyright issues with this film. During its production, Hollywoodland went through many rounds of getting clearance from Warner Brothers Pictures to use different aspects of Reeves' Superman persona. Both Warner Brothers and DC Comics had to have a final say in the depiction of the characters relating to these properties. So, yeah, it changed the whole thing. The film's original title was Truth, Justice, and the American Way.
Yeah, sure. I guess that makes sense.
This was shortly...
The American Way would be problematic when you're like, you're killing yourself.
I guess so. I mean, I think the real issue is that they were planning to make Superman Returns pretty soon after this.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if anybody would have gave a fuck 10 years previous.
Superman Returns was the one with Kevin Spacey, directed by Bryan Singer?
I believe so. Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor?
Yes.
Does he kiss Superman's neck inappropriately?
I'm pretty sure. I think that's the whole movie. It's just, It's like 2 hours of him kissing Superman's neck.
He picks up 14-year-old Superman and tries to fucking seduce him.
Whispering sweet nothings into his ear.
Well, I can see why that movie didn't do great.
It's weird that they call it Hollywoodland, because that was what the Hollywood sign used to say. I think
it was for like a specific development.
Sure. But then an earthquake caused the land, like letters to fall over, and when they were putting it back up, they didn't put up the land part. But that happened in like 1949. And so the fact that this movie takes place in the later 50s, it's just weird, because you wouldn't be calling it Hollywoodland anymore, I don't think.
No, and also even the meaning of the sign kind of changes, because it was a sign for Hollywoodland, and then it ends up just being a symbol of Hollywood.
You're right.
Right? So
right, yeah.
It's a huge landmark that has outlasted the purpose of the whole
thing. It's like a billboard.
Thing. Yeah,
it was like a billboard that then
just became like a landmark.
Yeah, so funny.
There's a scene where George Reeves is performing as Superman at a children's Wild West show, and a young boy approaches Reeves holding a gun. Reeves dissuades the boy by confirming that the bullets will bounce off him, but could hurt innocent bystanders. And although Reeves often told this story, all subsequent researchers have been unable to corroborate this account.
Oh, is that right?
So this is most likely a story made up by the actor.
Well, dang. Because actually, this was...
It is one of the best scenes in the movie.
The best scene in the movie, yeah. I had seen it online as a clip, and the scene, like the clip ends with him like reaching toward this loaded gun and like stopping this kid from doing it, and then it like cuts before anything happens. Like, oh shit, I gotta see this movie, find out what happens. In the movie, it just does that. He's like reaching towards, and then we cut away, and we don't know if
it's just Louis Simo like wakes up. It's like a Louis Simo's dream.
Which you know. The drama now that that's plopped in the middle of a movie where I know that Superman is already dead, like the drama of that scene's a little bit missing, because I know he's not going to die right here.
Yeah, but he could still get shot.
He could still get shot, but he's not going to die, and so like he's going to wait to shoot himself, you know, later on so I don't know. It kind of just was like, this scene seemed really intense, but now it's like a little less intense.
Oh, yeah. I love that scene. I think it's probably one of the most memorable scenes in the movie.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's still dramatic, but I don't think it has the same gravitas, because, you know, he's not going to die here. Whereas in a movie, when we're just going sequentially and, you know, here is a scene where he's almost going to get shot, he could die right here, you know?
Yeah, sure.
But I just know he doesn't. So.
Yeah, and that's not the only thing in the film that was fictionalized.
Okay.
Reeves' scenes in From Here to Eternity are shown suffering from Superman-related audience heckling.
Oh, right.
And then they cut to like the director making like scissor gestures, like he's going to cut the scene. None of this happened. There was no reduction in Reeves' screen time in that movie. It matches the screenplay.
Okay.
This is just based on an urban legend, but there's no evidence that Reeves was cut at all. The film has Reeves promoting some wrestling work. In real life, Reeves never wrestled professionally and did not have any offers to do so at the time of his death. This was most likely just added to show the desperation of his post-Superman career. Really no historical basis for any of this wrestling stuff.
Okay.
So even the thing that like makes Louis Simo have his final realization that this guy killed himself is just completely fabricated. It doesn't really shed much light into the actual mystery, which is a compelling and interesting kind of real life phenomenon.
Well, he watches a video of George doing like fake karate or something, right?
That's the wrestling video.
Oh, is that right?
That's the video that he made to send to the professional wrestling promoters to show him that he was in good enough shape to keep wrestling, and you see his despair.
Right.
You know, he's so old and beat down. He's trying to fucking do judo rolls, and
yeah, right.
so he can go and fucking fight the Crusher.
Yeah.
Whoever the fuck was big in professional wrestling back then.
Back in the 60s, yeah.
Entertaining flick, decent enough flick, kind of forgettable, but you know, it's worth watching.
I disagree.
Russ disagrees.
Yeah, don't watch
Skip it.
You know, we can have different opinions. So you watch it, make up your own mind, tell who's right and who's wrong. I mean, it's obviously I'm right, but...
To create images is always a challenge. Digital magic.